You know what they say on TV. Push one of Epi's stat.
Yeah, nobody actually says that.
Exactly. Welcome to the real world of nursing. I'm Millicent Olulade, better known as Nurse Millie.
And I'm Nurse Tara.
And we're surviving 12-hour shifts, nonstop call lights, and pure hospital chaos.
And each other.
This is Shift Happens, where we talk about what really happens on and off the shift.
Welcome to Shift Happens podcast. I'm Nurse Millie and
I'm Nurse Tara.
Today we are talking about life behind the scrubs. Thank you all so much for joining us. We are about to clock in and get our topic on. The chief complaint today is talking about the episode topic, explain why it matters, and present the central question the episode will answer. Our chief complaint today is everyone knows me as a nurse, but do they really know me? Nursing can become more than a career. It can become your identity. Between long shifts, caring for others, and balancing life outside of the hospital, it's easy to lose sight of who you are and when you're not wearing scrubs. Today's question: how do you hold on to your identity outside of nursing? And what happens when your job starts defining who you are?
The shift report. And the purpose of the shift report is to explain the topic through personal stories, experiences, humor, and honest conversation. Who is Millie when she's not wearing scrubs?
I'm a complete weirdo. I'm a complete weirdo. I walk around the house and I pretend like I'm filming like for a reality show, and I talk to myself and I narrate things. And I don't know, it just kind of gives me happiness. And then I dance to Britney Spears. I do weird stuff to my husband and my kids. Like, I'm just a complete weirdo. And then when I'm at work, I'm quiet, I'm astute, I'm professional. And when people hang out with me outside of work, they're like, girl, I didn't know you were crazy. How much have you been drinking? I'm like, I'm completely sober, honey. This is weird all day long. My husband will be like, you remind me of this psych patient I had. And I'm like, I like that. You know what I mean? So I'm a little spicy.
You like that?
I like a little spice and a little weirdness. So that's why I can always relate to people with mental illness, because I have it for sure. Like, I'm on medication. Anyway, it's none of your business. HIPAA. So Tara, when was the last time you truly felt like yourself outside of work? I know what that answer is. You on vacation, living it up, getting bronze, throwing dollars.
I feel like me being on vacation or traveling is really a big part of who I am outside of work, because I enjoy it thoroughly. That's my hobby. I love traveling to new places to see the people, immerse in the culture. So for me, traveling is really a time where I get to unplug, not worry about work, just be me and explore wherever I am.
I feel like you're also a different person from working with you than like hanging out with you outside of work.
Do you?
At work, you do not play games.
Yeah, I'm pretty
you're pretty
professional.
Intense. You're intense and you're professional.
Yeah.
Like, I would not fool around with you like at all. Outside of work, I'm definitely harassing you.
Yes.
I'm definitely going to play with you and joke with you, and you're so much fun.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
What hobby, passion, or dream do you wish you had more time to pursue, Millie?
My creative outlets. Right now, I'm obviously doing the podcast. I'm writing children's books. I'm trying to do the reality TV show thing. I want to do like a clothing. There's so many things creatively that I want to do, but I just don't have time to invest as much time as I'd like in between taking care of kids, doing, all the obligatory things. I just wish I had more time to do that.
Think if you were working as a nurse practitioner, how little time you would have to do everything else creative that you wanted to pursue.
Exactly. And
so
I also feel like when I'm not with my kids, I'm constantly watching the clock, because I'm like, okay, I only have an hour to do this. I only have an hour to film this or edit this or come up with this idea. So it's become my hobby in a way, because I don't have any other free time to travel to all the islands and immerse in the culture.
Okay.
What's something people would be surprised to learn about you that has nothing to do with nursing? Uh-oh.
I don't know. I feel like I'm such an open book.
Okay.
I think that I'm really so nice. Like, everyone's like, Tara's
Uh-huh.
really a sweetheart
Yeah.
because I'm not a sweetheart at work.
Yeah, that's what I just did.
Yeah, they'll
Mhm.
like, Tara, and I'm like, don't say anything.
Yep.
Because at work, they'll be like, hi, how are you? I'm
Yeah,
like,
fine.
yeah, I'm kind
What's your
of,
name?
I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah, maybe that's my defense mechanism to stay protected.
Yeah.
And so maybe this I'm really sweet because I don't always show like my sweet side. I just had a birthday. Happy birthday to me, July 5th. So
Happy
I'm
birthday.
such a Cancer. So I'm mush inside, the crab, and I have such a hard shell. So I always have that tough exterior.
Mhm. I'll be cracking that thing right
Yeah,
open.
right.
though.
You do.
I will say
yeah.
that when I've talked to you on your lunch breaks, I'll be like, what are you doing? I'm at Target buying something for somebody.
Yeah.
I'm doing this. I'm getting a gift card. I'm getting some draws. I'm
Yeah.
like, you are so sweet,
Yeah.
Even though you
I
didn't
think
bring
people-
me a souvenir because I'm not special.
Yes,
Sorry,
I feel
I'm
like
still
that's
on that.
something that people be surprised to learn. Millie, what has becoming a nurse changed who you are outside of work in good ways or bad?
I feel like since becoming a nurse, I'm more anxious about things because I've seen a lot of things happen in healthcare, good and bad. So with myself and my family, I'm always worried about like this could happen, or I have surgery scheduled. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this could happen. What if I stop breathing, or I wake up during surgery? Like all the things that can happen. I'm
Sure.
like, just my luck.
Yeah,
just
so
my luck to
ignorance is
happen.
bliss.
Ignorance is bliss. Also, the positive thing is it's made me become more of an astute mother. So I notice things with my children that maybe I wouldn't notice if I were not in healthcare,
Right.
or I know what to do, or I can, if I don't know what to do, I can critically think through something and say, okay, this is how we get to the solution. So Tar, if you retired tomorrow, what would you spend your time doing?
Oh, definitely traveling.
Mhm.
That would be my number one thing. And I think as a Black woman, as a nurse anesthetist, being young and pretty, I think I would do more things in the community to be more of an outreach for women, because I don't know. I feel like these children, they need help, and they need some guidance, and maybe to have more of a role model to know if they can do it.
Mentor.
Mentoring. I feel like I would want to be more involved in the community if I was retired.
Do you want to head over to the nurse's station? Because I need a break. I need some water and catch up on charting, and I need to text.
Yes, the purpose of the nurse's station is to engage the audience through anonymous admissions, listener questions, scenarios, and advice. So one anonymous admission: sometimes I don't know where the nurse ends and where I begin. I've spent so many years taking care of everyone else that I forgot what I enjoy. Wow.
That's completely relatable. What
Mhm.
advice would you give to this anonymous?
Oh my goodness. That
Submission.
is just so, like, you spend so many years. I've been a nurse for 25 years. That's a long time.
That's
I
a
never
long
thought I
time.
would make it.
Yeah.
And you put yourself in just taking care of others and work and your nurse education and doing all the things. And you just really forget what you like doing because you're always at work. You work 7 to 7. You wake up, go to work, you come home at 7, and you get ready for bed. So you do forget what you enjoy. I would say take that time off, because we have all this PTO and time built up, and people
Don't take it.
Don't take it.
Yeah.
To really figure out what you like. And it doesn't have to be traveling. It could be having a garden at home. I know one nurse, she would make like little fairy gardens. Remember, Barb?
Yeah, I do. And her little
So like
yarn
So I
things.
feel like that's just something creative that she did, and I love that fairy garden.
Let me add this. I feel like before you even delve into what you're doing with work, you should also figure out who you are as a person, right? So sometimes in your 20s, sometimes in your 30s, sometimes in your 40s. So until you are complete and whole and confident in yourself, it's going to be hard. I shouldn't speak for everyone, but I would think it would be hard to find that balance and figure out your identity in between who you are and who you are as a nurse.
Yeah, you just have to intentionally make time for yourself. And when you work, I have phases where I work, and then I go somewhere. But even if I'm not traveling, if I work, I'll take time out just to have self-care or do something fun, even if it's not going out of the country, just something where I'm like, I'm looking forward to that. like soon I'm not going out of the country, but I'll go to the lake with my best friend Cindy because I want to be where she is. She loves going to the lake. I can say I really don't go to the lake, and there's not always a lot of Black people at the lake.
But you be having a time
I
with
have
Cindy.
fun,
I've heard.
and I can't swim, so I just
Girl,
go.
and you want to talk about me eating Taco Bell every day, and you can't swim?
I can't swim.
Mamas.
And there's bugs out there.
I don't like that.
And there's
Snakes.
mosquitoes.
Like
and then
that.
someone's always saying that there's snakes in the
no,
water
no,
and you
no,
can't see because the lake is so dirty. But I want to enjoy that time and that friendship.
Yeah.
So you just kind of have to be, you sometimes have to live in
compromise,
someone else's world
Yeah,
to
you
be
do.
with them.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's learning myself and challenging myself because I do have fun just sitting on the boat and like I'll close my eyes and just reflect on this, even if it's 5-10 minutes, just to really think about, what's going on at the time.
I was ready to leave this nursing station because we got to get back to seeing patients, but the call light is going off because we have a listener question. Thank you so much, anonymous person, for leaving us a listener question in our Instagram DM. Also, if you're interested in doing so, you can leave us in the comment section or in our DMs on TikTok, YouTube, or Instagram. The listener question is, what's one thing you do outside of work that reminds you you're more than just your job? I'm gonna let you take that one because I'm still struggling with that.
Yeah, just do something that's totally not
healthcare related.
Yeah, that's not nursing. Don't go volunteer anywhere.
Yeah.
Just do something. Throw an axe. They have those axes.
Yep. Where you can break stuff.
Yeah. Go to the movies. I love going to Flick's Brew House.
I don't know what that is. Oh, is that on Broadway Extension?
Yes.
Okay, I've seen
I love going
that.
there. It's dinner and a movie. So you just go and have dinner, just chill, watch a good movie. I love doing that. And just something totally, that's what you have to do. Yeah. From your job.
Yeah.
So let's talk diagnosis. The purpose of the diagnosis is to answer the chief complaint by sharing the biggest truth or takeaway from the discussion.
Nursing is something you do, not all that you are. Your compassion may shape you, but it shouldn't consume every part of your identity.
The best nurses don't lose themselves in their careers. They make room to grow as spouses, parents, friends, creators, dreamers, and individuals outside the hospital.
I think it's time, now that we've diagnosed, I think it's time for us to come up with a treatment plan. So a treatment plan is purposed to leave listeners with practical advice, encouragement, or actionable steps. So my treatment plan for you all would be protect time for the things that make you feel like yourself, whether it's family, creativity, travel, fitness, or simply resting. Those moments aren't selfish. They're necessary. I'm definitely one of those resters.
Yeah.
I like a good rest. I like a good nap.
I love a good nap. Reconnect with something you love before nursing. Pick up the hobby, call the friend, plan the trip, or start the project you've been putting off. Also, I feel like when you're first a nurse, I wanted everything nurse. Nurse shirt, nurse. And that really shaped you like, that's it. Okay. And so now I don't even buy any of that shit. That's what it is. Don't ask me if I'm a nurse. If I'm on the plane, if there's a nurse, no. I'm like,
girl.
And then people are like, go say you're a nurse. No. I feel like when you do that, because did you do that as a nurse? Everything was nurse.
I was too broke. I was too broke, honey, trying to pay off my student loans, making $19.37. Only thing I had that would represent me being a nurse is a hospital pin with the name on it, or the little goodie bags they give you at orientation, just the plain old bare bottom stuff.
Millie, I remember one time you gave us all stethoscopes.
I did. I was making a little money by then, and it was only for my certain group.
Yeah, and that's, people, and I know someone that has a tattoo of it. It's like we really, and that's fine because I feel like nursing really is a calling.
It is.
And so I feel like that's why nurses are so into nursing as their identity, because it's not like you're a garbage man. You're not going to go get a garbage pan because, it's more of a calling to be nurses. So I feel like that's why it's so hard for nurses to not make that their entire identity, because it's so much a part of who we are.
It's an achievement and it's an accomplishment, when you get through nursing school. I said, I think nursing school was harder than nurse practitioner school. I do have one question for you though. Yeah. And I want you to tell me the truth. when I got you that nursing stethoscope necklace,
Mhm.
do you wear it? Because I know you always wear the real gold. You go to Dubai and get your
Is that real
stuff.
gold?
You got a charcuterie board necklace.
Not it's a
I wanted one.
cartouche.
So sometimes we can't afford the real gold. And I know you probably saw this was like, this is nice, but this will turn my neck green. Because it probably would. It was like $25, but I thought it was cute.
So I think you answered your own question.
What?
No, I don't wear that.
Girl,
if it's
that's
not
so
real gold,
rude.
if it's not
So
real gold, I'm sorry, Millie.
Tara, I'm not
wearing
making
it.
what you making. It's the thought that counts. Do you still have it?
I do have it, but
I want to see it after this. I want to see it after this.
So anyway, let's go to discharge
Don't be
instructions.
dismissing me because you in trouble.
The purpose of discharge instructions is to end with the one memorable message listeners should carry with them. If listeners only remember one thing, your scrubs may identify your profession, but they should never define your entire identity. We said that. Like, guys, you're more than nurses.
So our clinical pearl today, as you nurse goers know, we had clinical pearls in nursing school, so annoying. But our purpose is to finish with a brief educational tip, nursing concept, or a medical takeaway. So our medical takeaway was going to be compassion fatigue. Now, you know, Tara, I'd like you to read the definition.
Oh my goodness, that's such a thing. A state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion that can develop after continually caring for people experiencing suffering, trauma, or illness. In plain English, when you spent so much time taking care of everyone else that you begin feeling emotionally drained or like you have nothing left to give.
I see that so much in nursing. And I'm sure in a lot of other fields, but nursing, that's why I've said we've had that high turnover. People are job changing. What was the term they used? Job hopping. It was something in healthcare that we specifically use. I don't remember. But it's just hard to create stability when you're burnt out, you're overworked, you have high acuity patients, and you don't get any rest.
That's why you have to separate yourself from that identity and get to know Millie again.
Yes. And be okay with advocating for that rest, for that break, and also take that paid time off. Take your lunch breaks.
Yeah.
Thank you all for tuning in to the Shift Happens podcast episode. We are ready to clock out, honey, because it's hot and we trying to get out of here before we hit traffic. If you guys want to listen to us more or watch us, tune in to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. You can follow us on Shift Happens Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. I'm Nurse Millie.
I'm Nurse Tara.
Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next shift.
All right, that's our time. The charge nurse is already looking for us. Thanks for working with us.
And if you enjoy the episode, make sure to hit subscribe on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen.
And follow us at Shift Happens on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, so you don't miss the chaos. I'm Nurse Millie.
And I'm Nurse Tara.
Please don't hit the call button. We are clocked out.